Hi guys, I'm the game surgeon, and today we're going to be designing a game in real time. Alright, so first off, the idea for the game was that in most games, you go get exponentially better as you get better, right? You get more and more workers, and you get epic at the top, and then the game ends, right? Well, anyway, I wanted to do that, but kind of the opposite. Okay, I still want you to get more powerful because games that don't do that are a little bit harsh. But I want you to get more powerful, but instead of creating something like a farm agricola, I want you to be destroying something like a big bad guy or something. So instead of getting more powerful, you're causing the system to malfunction. Like, I don't know, we can pretend like the Death Star, for example. Like, I don't know, you kill this guy, and then you mess with these wires, which lead to this, which lead to this, and then they get bigger and bigger problems until it all collapses on itself, right? And all you did was just change something little right here, and the entire system fell apart. Anyway, so my goal is to create a game where you can, well, first off, create a system that you can influence in certain ways, which will cause bigger problems down the road, if that makes sense. So I'll start outlining it right now. So you need to have a person, probably. I like the idea of a small thing, allowing for a big thing to collapse under its own weight, right? Those tiny little guys next to the huge giant, and the giant tries to attack him, but then the guy just moves out of the way and the entire giant falls down and hurts himself in the process. That's kind of the idea. So we want a small group of people, probably. I mean, this doesn't have to be people yet. This could be ants or I don't know yet. Small group of people, right? All right. So then we want a big system that constantly interacts with itself, right? It also needs to be manipulatable by these people, right? But there also needs to be some strategy, like self-correction, that we can stop in one way or another, right? So that's basically all I have. So let's start thinking about this. Okay, probably I should get a theme real quick and work with it from there. Yeah, I like the idea of a big machine, probably. The tyrannical, post-apocalyptic world where you got the big machine that has its own and there's the bad guys inside, and then it's walking through town, consuming everything, right? And you are a couple of guys maybe inside of it or something that are breaking a boiler system, doing small acts of sabotage that eventually allow the whole machine to crumble. I think this is probably the best way because this thing looks insurmountable, and then you can do small things to break it apart. Now, I don't know, I might be able to make it into two different strategies. Either you do small acts to break it apart, or you combine it all into one big action near the end, or you maybe we can have killing different people there. Well, let's not say kill. You incapacitate, or maybe people. I don't know. I think maybe we should have alternate win conditions, or alternate very specific asymmetric ways to get to a winning condition, if that makes sense. So you can incapacitate lots and lots of people, and then the workers can't work, and then that causes problems. Or maybe you can even start an uprising by controlling people. I like this idea of you're causing problems, but every time you play it, you got a different kind of strategy. Speaking of which, there's no reason to go to one of these strategies rather than another, unless you're playing a competitive game. I imagine this is probably a cooperative game or a solo game. So the only reason you wouldn't exploit this one every single time it's the easiest is if you had alternate win conditions, or if the factor was high based on how the machine was created or something, which is probably a good idea. We have a modular machine which would allow us to create enough imbalances that one of these strategies might be better than the other, but not multiple games in a row. It's not always do one big action to destroy to cripple the entire machine. It's this game is probably a good idea to sabotage, while the later game it's way easier to start an uprising, if that makes sense. Yeah. Alright, so that is pretty good. Let's start thinking about, I don't know, different ideas of what you're doing or different ideas of how the system's gonna work. So, let's see, if it's cooperative and it's gonna be like a win condition game where you're not just getting straight up points, we probably want this machine to be attacking people, like destroying towns or something. And you can prevent this somehow, which is maybe another strategy, prevent. I don't know about that yet. Here, I'm gonna switch out this marker. So you can prevent destroying towns. Maybe it's like gathering resources, getting more powerful. So maybe it's getting more powerful as well. And you can manipulate like its changes to its system, allow you to manipulate it, right? So like if it gets a new arm, then the gears aren't quite screwed on yet, and you can kill some guys who are screwing the arms off, and then the arm just falls off, and then like it falls apart that way or something. So as it gets more powerful, the system is working on itself, and so you've got more space to work with. Anyway, so those are some ideas of what it's doing. Maybe this is your loss condition, is how many guys died before you killed them. Maybe it can be point scoring, like however many towns you're able to save, the better. But then like you have to base it on luck. I don't know, maybe we can find different ways to work on that. Okay, so that seems like a pretty good idea of what the system, what the machine is trying to do. Okay, so should I create the system right now, or should I create like what we're doing? I'm wondering if we should like create a map, maybe. These different, ooh, I have an idea. Alright, what if we had different variables, right? Like, I don't know, X and Z, I know these are silly and like mathematical, but like this is the number of, I don't know, energy that is currently getting created, right? And the energy goes up the different paths of the machine. And if you lower the energy amount, then suddenly this starts to malfunction, and this causes the amount of like food for the workers to go down. And when the food for the workers go down, you can start rebelling easier. So you cut off the energy supply to make the workers angry, so the workers will help you fight against them or something, if that makes sense. And then there's different parts of these machines, like they'll go in order or something, where the food equals how powerful the people will work, and if we lower the food, then there's going to be a problem over here. I don't know if I like this that much, but that's an idea. We could also have like a map with workers moving around it. I like the idea of having like a humanity inside of this machine, and then we convince the humanity to destroy itself. Like instead of having a machine collapse under its own weight, we have it like self-explode as the humans sabotage it itself. And there should probably be a threat, like there's a threat to destroy towns, but it'd be kind of a cool push your luck. Like if you are hiding over here and there could be a watchman or something walking around, then it's like a push your luck. How obvious are you going to be because you're running out of houses, but if you're too obvious, then this guy's going to see you and you're going to be dead. Anyway, so those are a couple things I'm thinking about. I'm a little worried the system's running away from me, so I can't. Alright, we should probably start with simpler stuff, so that way I can actually work on it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so a system that feeds off of itself like a cycle. We probably need some resources that are moving around, and if you cut off the supply, that's an easy way to manipulate something. And when you cut off the supply over here, then that cuts off the supply over here, and that's an easy way to cause a big chain reaction. Yeah, so you could have, I like the idea of different cards. And maybe they don't need to do anything with adjacency rules, you just like have them in a 3x3 grid. Or maybe the adjacency rules are the way you modularize it. So, you know, you got oil cans over here, and you got miners that give the oil cans over here, and the oil cans are spent over here, so you kill a miner, there's less oil cans, less things, and the oil cans are used for movement, And because there's less movement, then the people are angry and they send out more guys. This might be too complicated. Send out more guys to come try to find you or something. Whew. Hopefully this audio sounds alright, because I don't know how it's going to sound. Alright. Yeah. I don't know, maybe we should start focusing on what the people are doing in order to describe more of how this is going to work here. I'm going to swap out my marker again. Alright, so you guys are like rebels. I'm kind of imagining you Andor-like guys who are... What if you had selfish motives, like you want lots of money? I think that's probably too complicated. Alright, so I like the idea of sneaking around. Thing is, the more I add, the harder it is for me to actually create it. So you're sneaking around. What if we make it really small, just a 3x3 grid, and you're sneaking around, and then there's maybe another layer, a 2x2 grid on top, but we don't really see it as a different layer, right? And then a 1x1 grid, which is the head, and here the guys are, right? And so if you assassinate the guys, then you win. And this is a terrible marker too. Oh my gosh. If you kill these guys, then you win. If you break all of the tire things, these are tires, they allow it to move, then you win. Or if you make it collapse. Ooh, what if you made it collapse? Oh, this is a great idea. Okay, so what if it's literally collapsing under its own weight? Like, things are built on top of each other. Like we have a 3x3 grid here, and then maybe we got a 4x3 grid. That's probably better. And then we have a 3x3 grid on top, and we have this as a separate, not on top, not literally on top, but this is supposed to be on top. So if we remove both of these, then there's nothing holding this up anymore, and then this falls off too, if that makes sense. And then we have a 2x3 grid maybe on top of that, and then a 2x2 grid. Oh, this is probably maybe too many layers. But I really like this idea. And so this falls off, and then if you can make this one fall off, then this one will fall off, which means this will fall off. Oh man, this is crazy chain reaction. And if you can get this, then nothing happens quite yet, but if this falls off, then this falls off. If you can imagine that this is stuck right here, right? Once everything below it is destroyed, then this is destroyed, which in turn, now that both of these, now that this one is right here. So if we destroy this, we can destroy this one, which is right here, and then this destruction will destroy this one, and then eventually, it literally falls under itself. And all you had to destroy was destroy 6 of them, and we've already destroyed 7 more of them as you went along. This is pretty cool. So you're just doing damage straight up, maybe? You're just doing damage cubes? Okay, that seems simple enough. It's now you're planning. So now the core game mechanic is you planning where you're going to add these damage cubes to, in the best, most optimum placement of these damage cubes to, cause a big destruction, right? And you have these people, maybe, who are walking around in very robotic manners, right? You know, those guards. They just scoot around in a clockwise manner, but, as you destroy these... Here, I have to erase it real quick. So as you destroy these, right, instead of the guard moving around normally, he now has to move this way, right? And if you destroy this one too, then he moves this way. And then he just goes around like this, and then you cut off him from this area, and now you can use that area to your advantage, right? So now you're manipulating the workers based on your destruction as well. Oh, this is getting good. Alright, so now the game's about doing small acts of sabotage. I guess it's going to be harder to create an uprising with what I'm doing, but that's probably too complicated to try to do anyway. But you're doing small acts of sabotage, and these are super precise. Everything matters on where you're doing. The entire big action of the game is deciding where are you going to sabotage this machine so that it entirely falls apart, right? So these different squares, you're going to be doing damages. When you do 3 damages or so, maybe I'll have a different shield number. Maybe 3 is just fine for all of them. It kind of sounds a lot really satisfying. You destroy them, and this affects the worker movement. Or I don't know, if we we call them watchmen, probably is a better name. And that affects like the activation of those. We should probably have all these buildings have small activations. Maybe they give energy to nearby things which make them more powerful. Or this one lets you destroy a town at the end of every round or something, you know. They should probably interact directly with almost a different one of them every single time. But yeah, so you can move the watchman. This affects the activation of those spots. And then if you do a careful like consideration of where they're doing, then also destroys higher level. Which is nice too. So if remember before where we had these 2x2 grid and this 1x1 grid that's sitting on top, but like you don't see it that way. So if we remove one of these but destroying 6 down on the bottom, we can also just fly up to the top, destroy this one, and this one, and you only have to destroy 4 squares total to already destroy the top one. So if we make these like harder to get up to, a lot more dangerous. So as you move up levels, you get more dangerous, but you also get more rewarding. This could be part of the push for luck effect. Yeah, so if this is more dangerous but more rewarding, then you can be able to only destroy only 4. So just like an advanced placement of only a couple cubes in each of these will allow the destruction of the top one. And that's all you need to do is to win, is destroy the top one or kill the guys in the top one. I'm not sure how we do that. Yeah. Alright, so I like the idea, I just thought of something, that every damage you do here causes some malfunction. So maybe the first damage makes the cameras unavailable. So now, like, events or something are a lot less worse for you because now they can't see you. Does that make sense? The watchmen have a less chance to get you if they land in your spot. And the second damage, like it stops the activation of the room. And then the third damage is the one that actually removes it. So you want to be always just do 1 damage to like stop it from working. But then you want to do the second damage. As you might, if you've done 1 damage to allow yourself free passage through those without worrying about it, then you probably want to do the second damage in order to cause an activation to stop the activation of that room anyway. And then you might as well do the third damage to remove it and then manipulate how the watchmen move. Also, I bet if you remove it, then we can have like engineer guys walking around besides watchmen guys walking around. And these guys could help clear off the damage cubes while the watchmen will try to stop you. And maybe we'll think of something else, but I like this idea so far. Alright, so I think I'm going to stop here. This is just a test run, really, of this YouTube channel. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's go! I'm doing this right now. It's pretty chill. We'll see where this heads. But anyway, if you want to see more of this, then like you should comment and stuff, because as it is, I'm kind of excited about this game. It's looking pretty awesome.